Alright, hello guys, welcome back to another video. So I wanted to come on here to make a update video on the Twomad situation because I feel like yesterday's video was made really fast, and the only thing at the time that we really knew about the situation was that yes, Twomad overdosed, he passed away, and then right after that Jameskii put out a huge tweet accusing Twomad of being an R-word and a pedo. Now ever since then I've been going around Twitter looking for information about this whole thing to see if these claims are actually true, and also I don't know for sure if this is true or not, but I've been seeing a few people saying the same thing about the overdose, in which apparently Twomad was on ketamine, and I'll be honest, I really don't know anything about the drug because I don't do it myself and nobody around me does it, but I've heard it's some pretty bad shit. So yeah, I guess let's start off with that. So the first time when I heard about ketamine, when it was referring to the drugs that Twomad was potentially taking, it was from this tweet right here from Technicals, in which he said, one of the last things I said to Twomad was about his ketamine problem, and I really thought he was turning it around. I can't believe what I'm reading. This tweet was posted yesterday, and it has a screenshot of a DM conversation between Technicals and Twomad, in which Twomad says, for some reason I keep feeling like I'm fucked, but I quit ketamine today. Technicals said, good shit man, have you been talking to anyone outside of the internet? Twomad says, yeah, therapist a lot. Technicals goes on to say, that's great news, you're still relatively young, so I just want you to be able to keep your head on straight and continue growing. Twomad says, LOL. Technicals says, yeah, that probably sounds corny, but your schizo post and ketamine usage can be genuinely worrisome. Just glad you're doing good. Twomad then says, yeah, I have a friend over here right now. Technicals further clarifies in a reply to his own tweet, saying, I wasn't like a close friend by any means, but I was talking to him for a potential video to get all the facts straight, and he would send me questions occasionally. I knew about his drug problem and told him multiple times to quit and lean on his IRL friends. I'm just so sad right now, man. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, despite all the drama here, I could only imagine how it feels to be trying to help somebody get over their drug problem and trying to get them help, and then they just drop dead right in front of you. Like, that probably has to be the worst feeling ever, and I really hope Technicals is okay. Now, there were other various people on Twitter talking about Twomad's potential ketamine problem, and I really didn't know if these tweets were credible, so I'm gonna keep them out of my video. And I mean, honestly, if you look at Technicals' tweet with this Discord screenshot of the DM conversation between each other, you can obviously see that Twomad has a ketamine drug issue. Now, anyways, besides this tweet from Technicals here, there was also a clip that came from Twomad's last stream, which conveniently happened on the same day that he overdosed. In this stream clip that somebody was able to obtain, Twomad talks about not being able to remember things due to his ketamine drug issue, and then he further goes on to claim that he wasn't currently on the ketamine while doing the stream, like he wasn't actively doing it of course, but he would be doing it later after the stream. Just take a look at this clip.
I don't even remember it, really, I really don't. I don't remember this, because I'm on ketamine all the time. Right now, too. Not now, later. What fuck bitches? Stupid bitches, what the fuck?
And of course the police are going to do a thorough investigation of everything to find out what drugs he potentially overdosed on, because originally they were claiming that it was a potential overdose. So it wasn't really 100% confirmed that it was an overdose, but a lot of people just went with it being an overdose because people were aware of Twomad's drug addiction. Now that's all I really have when it comes down to what really happened to Twomad, and that's just based off of the stuff that has came out over on Twitter. I wouldn't be surprised if it was ketamine, or if the ketamine was laced with something else like fentanyl or another really deadly drug. But yeah, I think, and this is my own personal opinion, I think it was the ketamine. I don't think it was a fentanyl pill like a lot of people were claiming on Twitter. Now again, this isn't 100% confirmed, that's just my opinion. But anyways, moving on. I did a little bit of digging on Twitter yesterday, and I found Twomad's alleged victim's Twitter. She goes by the name of Goldie Bell, and she actually went inactive for the longest time on this account, ever since September of last year, when the original allegations came out against Twomad, the SA allegations, and surprisingly, she came back online when she heard about the news of Twomad passing. This is what she had to say about it. I'm not celebrating, I hope his family is okay, though I'm sure they aren't. Losing your child is tragic no matter the circumstances. I don't know how to process the news of Mudia's passing. It's a lot all at once, and I have conflicting emotions. He was a terrible, terrible person, and people tried to help teach him how to properly dose his drugs because they knew he would do it anyway, but he would do the opposite to get a reaction from them. He took it too far before, and he took it too far this time. I don't feel relieved because I don't know what happens from here. I am nervous about the internet's impending reaction, as I already see it is trending on Twitter. I'm not happy he's dead. I'm not sad sad, I am shocked, and I can't feel anything but dread. I feel terrible for his family. Now, after she posted this, she really didn't say much more, but she has been retweeting people who have been going against the people who are against Jameskii. On February 14th, which was yesterday, Lyrics put out a tweet, a quote tweet, quoting Jameskii's tweet, and he said, "The guy just died, and you run to Twitter calling him a rapist, pedophile, and attempted murderer with no proof? Even if these things are true, what a retarded way to go about announcing this. I will address more when I collect my thoughts." What? LMFAO? I mean, yeah, I do sort of agree with Lyrics here, because like if you don't have evidence right now, then why are you even posting about it? It's literally just hearsay, and people are going to accuse you of slandering him because you're not even backing yourself up. Like, that's the problem here. Now, the reply that was added to this tweet that Goldie Bell reposted says, "You sure about that?" And then it shows some screenshots, which it has some tweets from Twomad. Everyone report the guy who sent me this, at Jameskii, at Glocks Goldie. I don't really understand the context of this right here. Our victim, 4 guys, and other tweets that just really don't make any sense. Literally schizo posting. Do these people realize, and I really hate to be against these people because I don't know if they're actually victims or not, but like, don't these people realize that like this is not solid, concrete, like evidence that, oh, Twomad R-worded somebody or he's a pedo. Like, I want to see some concrete evidence, okay? That's what I want to see. Not really just some out of context tweets that I have no idea what they're even about. And they also have a screenshot of Twomad posting all of his guns on Twitter. I really don't see a problem with that. Like, it's not like he captioned one of them like, "Oh, quote unquote, I'm about to go blank some people with my guns, blah, blah, blah." No, I don't see any of that here. Like, this is not concrete proof or evidence that he actually wanted to go and murder people or he's a pedo or the R word. Like, I hate to break it to you. Somebody else added a reply to Lyrics' tweet and they said, quote unquote, "no proof." And they attached some screenshots with one of them from somebody claiming, "This is a lot, but yeah, I witnessed firsthand Twomad's threats on James's life during TwitchCon. He couldn't even go home because he knew his address and was en route to Vegas after threats. He had to use our hotel room to hide out while waiting for law enforcement." And then somebody else down in the replies says, "Can back this up too. He was scared for his life at the partner lounge during TwitchCon." Well, okay, the problem with the screenshot here is that there is no evidence. This is all hearsay. No matter how many people are behind it, it's all hearsay. There's no evidence. You could have easily got your friends to come on here and agree with you to try and have a case against Twomad. I want to see solid evidence before I'm gonna believe stuff like this. Now, the next 2 screenshots that are attached to this tweet are talking about some 13-year-old Twomad used to post on his Instagram or something. I'm not sure if this is why they are labeling him as a pedo or whatnot, but we're definitely lacking context here. Holy shit, I know who that 13-year-old kid is. He used to post pictures of her on his Instagram. Somebody asked, "Can we see proof?" And then they post 2 pictures of what looks like to be a potential 13-year-old kid. And it looks like the first picture is one that was posted to Twitter by who knows who, and then the second one was posted by Twomad on his Instagram. Now, once again, we're lacking context, so I have no idea what this means. And we don't know 100% if this is a 13-year-old kid. I mean, some people look younger than they actually are. So yeah, once again, how am I supposed to believe something when you're not like conclusively showing me what I need to see to believe it? Like, once again, I really hate to be like this, but it's like, if you guys really want people to believe you, you have to show all of the evidence up front and center, or I'm not going to instantly believe it. Now, some people might instantly believe it, but any competent, rational thinking human being is going to verify before they start believing things. Like, I hate to be that way, but that's how things work. Okay, so it looks like somebody asked for some more context on this because the person who originally posted it didn't think to add context to it before they posted it. And the person who originally posted this said the first 2 are people vouching for James being scared for his life during TwitchCon because Twomad knew where he lived and was threatening to kill him. The other 2 screenshots are a 13-year-old girl he posted on his Instagram. Okay, well, once again, you're saying that it's a 13-year-old girl, but like, how do we know if it's actually a 13-year-old girl? Like, she looks like she could be 13 years old. That doesn't 100% mean that she is a 13-year-old girl. And then the person asking for more context, they reply and they say, "Oh, I see. So you're saying here that this 13-year-old girl is one of his victims?" And then the person who made the original reply to Lyrics' tweet replied to the person asking for context and they said, "Seems possible. I don't know if this person he posted is the 13-year-old he admitted to talking to. I might need to look into it more." Some random bystander replies to this and they say, "Provides proof. Gets questioned on it. I might need to look into it more." Just throwing around weighty allegations for fun. I mean, literally, like, these people, they're so bad faith. It is just crazy to me. Like, you can't even claim that this person in the Instagram post that he posted is a 13-year-old, and then yeah, later after being questioned, say, "I might need to look into it more." Like, what? Before you post about everything, you gotta make sure you have everything all together and ready to go. And the fact that people had to go out of their way to ask for the context and you didn't just like provide it initially, like, that's a big problem. Anyways, moving on. Another person who goes by the name of Zastella quote tweeted Jameskii's tweet, and she said, "Twomad harassed me for months on my socials and spammed me with dozens of messages saying how obsessed he was and how much he needed to R me. Sometimes he'd add, quote, with a minor, or shit like, quote, I don't regret what I did. Quite deranged." Somebody replied, again, no proof. She replied and said, "I mean, I don't mind showing you. I showed it all before to my community." Then she attaches a screenshot that shows DMs between her and Twomad, where she isn't replying to him. And you guys can take a look at that right here. Now, I think at this point it's safe to say that we know that Twomad was 100% a creep. But right now, what I'm interested in, and this isn't to discredit or ignore anybody's stories, I want to hear about what Jameskii was talking about with the R-word stuff and the pedophilia, in which it looks like I'm not really seeing too much of that, like an explanation or like some solid evidence to prove that he is a pedophile, because I really do want to see that, because all I'm seeing right now is people using screenshots of him saying like, I love kids as like 100% damning evidence against him that proves that he's a pedo. It's like, you just can't do that, because him saying, quote, I love kids doesn't 100% mean he's a pedo or something. Like, I'm sorry, it's weird, and maybe he shouldn't be saying things like that, and it definitely raises an eyebrow, but accusing him of being a pedo and then backing it up with things like this is quite frankly defamation. Like, once again, I don't agree with it either, and it's fucking weird, but that's not pedophilia. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about was when I came on here to make this video, when I started recording, it looks like Jameskii has made a response to all the people who criticized him for not showing the evidence when he made his tweet blatantly accusing Twomad of being a pedophile and a rapist, and it looks like this is what he had to say. When my friends and colleagues say that my life was in constant danger, they're not talking about just threats. Just within a short time frame, I had a bullet hole put in my office window, was told to wear a concealed bulletproof vest when I'm in public, witnessed a SWAT team with ballistic shields outside of my home, and had to cooperate with an anti-terrorism unit when the rapist made implications of people's lives being in my control at TwitchCon, leading to the entire convention center being surrounded by police SUVs. This isn't even all the things I, my colleagues, and my close ones had to endure, just to give a perspective. I don't think I need to explain why I was not talking about it publicly, but if multiple people coming forward confirming what I said is true isn't enough, a lot of information is now public records and can be accessed by anyone. There was never a lawsuit at any point. There were court orders that led to multiple cases, civil and criminal. Once again, there has never been a lawsuit. A lot of these things are public records and always have been. It was never about money. He lied to the public, and some morons ate it up despite court cases being public records. The justice courts in multiple jurisdictions deemed it necessary to provide restraining orders to protect the victims/witnesses and those around them. The burden of proof is on the prosecution, and it was met in full. The courts issued multiple permanent restraining orders for many of his victims as he was vicious, unhinged, and violent, going out of his way to hurt not just his victims, but those who were close to them, all just to inflict maximum damage on everyone he's hurt. Twomad has been caught destroying evidence, sending death threats to witnesses, and fabricating stuff to brainwash his audience. The judge shut down his lies during the hearing, and all of this is public records. Just a reminder that this guy got caught hiding in the court's cafeteria when he realized he would get to see one of his victims in person again. This is the same guy who was dancing on the grave of a murdered child just a year ago. This is the same guy who secretly recorded multiple videos of him committing crimes, including sexual assault and pointing a gun at one of his victims. He shared those videos with friends, but was mortified to find out the court had gotten hold of them. This is public records once again. I was told the arrest warrant was supposed to go just before the final overdose. There are multiple reasons why it took so long, the main reason being that the investigation involved many jurisdictions in multiple states, and the amount of everything they had to go through has been insane. Outside of direct messages, phone calls, and live streams, he tweeted over 17,200 times since early August alone. Also, some people interfered with the investigation, and I'm waiting on confirmation whose names I can bring up today. All while a lot of this information is public or will be soon made public by the authorities, please don't bring up the victims' names and don't wish ill will on Twomad's family. I can't stress enough that despite what he put me and others through, leading to my health complications that made me end up in ER, I've been actively making sure he doesn't overdose, and while the DAs were preparing everything for prosecution, we were going to great lengths to make sure he doesn't get hurt and gets the help he needed. Meanwhile, his rabid fan base has been encouraging him to continue what he was doing, attacked his victims directly, and encouraged others to do the same. This isn't the hill you should die on. Stay safe. Now, once again, there is little to no evidence in here here, confirming if this is true or not. But with how big this is, and apparently there's like a police investigation going on and all this crazy shit going down, I really hope to see all of this get revealed in the near future. And also when it comes down to coming out about this right now after he passed away and not showing evidence because you might not have it, I feel like maybe you shouldn't have done that. I feel like that was kind of a bad idea because now people are questioning if you're actually being creditable or not. And a lot of people think you're lying and slandering him. Now that's not saying that this didn't happen and that there isn't an investigation going on right now and there aren't details to everything that you said out there right now, but you should have just waited before you came out about this. And when you had the evidence proving it, you should have posted it when you got that. Okay, you guys might not know this, but this video, that first part was recorded yesterday, and here I am on the 16th with an update. So ever since I stopped recording last night because I had to go to work, Jameskii put out this tweet at 11:49 p.m. and he said this: "Just got a full confirmation that I can tell the public you actively interfere with investigations and assisted Twomad by revealing him confidential information provided by the authorities, and that you also encouraged him to kill himself for hours, days before the tragedy. You even talked about it on streams." Of all people, she knew that there was never a lawsuit. In fact, she has contributed by a lot of stuff that happened over the years involving Twomad and his victims. She switched sides back to back. This was her just a few days ago, by the way, and then he attaches a clip from her live stream. Here it is.
I think he's just trying to cope because he has none left to live for, which I understand because he has none. Sounds like revenge. Hope he gets help. Sure. Starburst, if you support rape and him holding a gun to her head, yeah, I hope he gets help too. And by help, I mean I hope he learns how to tie a noose in a video game.
So apparently what Jameskii is telling us here right now is that she somehow interfered with the investigation by claiming, quote, "I hope he knows how to tie a noose." And before this, she implied that he's an R word. So I really don't understand how this is her interfering with an investigation. And she seems to be on your side with this because she thinks that he is an R word. So I really don't get this tweet and how she interfered with an investigation. And also, if you happen to know that she encouraged him to kill himself for hours and days before the tragedy, maybe you should show it instead of showing a stream that really doesn't prove anything that you're saying. Like, this is literally a nothing burger. Now, I guess the most recent update out of all of this would be the update that Jameskii put out an hour ago from the time of recording this second part of the video, in which he said Twomad did possess real firearms, and then he shows a video with Twomad with a firearm.
Bro, my fucking ears.
Here we go though. Jake, what the fuck?
I was sent this video that was privately taken right before the BTS concert, December 2021, and then there's a screenshot of somebody, and I don't know for sure if it's Twomad or not, holding a gun and aiming it downwards, and there's a female in front of this person. Now, looking through some of the replies, I found the original video of where this screenshot came from because our friend here, Jameskii, couldn't attach this video for us to see for some weird reason, and this is how that video went.
Are you okay? Oh, really? Video. I don't care. Okay. I didn't know how to say hi to them. Good. Do you think it was a real gun?
Is that the one you were with?
I have a real one. I may still have a real one. That one just isn't real. Yeah.
I'll be honest, when it comes down to it, maybe Twomad shouldn't have done this, but I mean, what can we say about this? Twomad was literally a schizo, and he did dumb shit like this, let alone that this is a BB gun and not a real gun. And where in this video does he point this gun at her? Like, that's what I want to know. A lot of people have been saying, well, he pointed this at her head or something, and I'm not seeing it. And I'm definitely not seeing it in this video. He definitely meant it as a joke, even though it's kind of a fucked up joke, if you ask me. But I mean, that's literally the shit that Twomad did. And I feel like Jameskii posting a tweet saying Twomad did possess real firearms, then going on to show him with a real gun, and then right after that attaching a screenshot of him with a gun in front of this female as if he's going to shoot her with a real gun when it turns out it wasn't even a real gun, it was a BB gun. I just feel like it's bad faith, and I feel like Jameskii is doing as much to try and hurt Twomad's character so that people easily agree with him, despite the fact that he's not really showing any evidence to what he is claiming, and he sorta in a way is manipulating the truth, because in this second screenshot he doesn't even provide the whole video. No, he doesn't show the whole context, despite the fact that he probably does have it because he has a frame of the video that nobody even saw on the original video with the gun being shown, and he essentially leaves out context to make Twomad look worse than he actually was. Like, if that's not bad faith, I don't know what is. And just because of him doing that and not providing evidence, in my own personal opinion, I do not believe Jameskii, and I don't know if I will, because I don't see why we couldn't have came out about this when there was evidence to, you know, put out there, because a lot of this is unsubstantiated claims. And then, like I said, we also have him manipulating things to make it look like Twomad was worse than he actually was, because it's like, you know, maybe he shouldn't have pulled the BB gun on her, but it was a fucking BB gun, and Jameskii over here is actually trying to make it look like this BB gun was actually a real firearm. Like, it's ridiculous. And I'm not defending either side here, but like, when it comes down to this whole situation, Jameskii is doing a pretty shitty job, because one, he can't even show the evidence, and he came out about this way too early. Like, say if he does have evidence and this actually is like a police investigation, maybe he should have waited instead of instantly coming out about it after Twomad passed away. And then he goes on to make some bad faith tweets where he essentially manipulates the truth. And I know there's people talking about how, oh, you can't really tell the difference between a BB gun and a real firearm, so that's why it's bad. But when it comes down to Jameskii talking about the firearms that Twomad owned, like, you can't just go full out of context mode and attach one screenshot that shows what looks like to be a firearm and then say it's a firearm when there's literally an original video that you most likely have contradicting what you are saying. Like, come on, man, really? Like, I want to believe you, but you make it really hard to believe you. I want to see some real facts, some real evidence, and coming out about all this stuff and doing it real slow instead of just having everything ready to go in, say, like a Google Doc or a YouTube video or a huge twit longer or something like that is pretty pathetic now that you think about it. And it makes people start to question, is this guy even credible anymore? And now that you think about it, that is actually really crazy that a lot of people are believing this guy right off the bat, despite the fact that he hasn't really shown any evidence towards really anything. And for some reason, he also expects us to go and find the public information about this Twomad case, despite the fact that it's like, what am I even searching up to find this case? Like, how do I find this? And it's like, why do I have to find it in the first place? You're the one who's coming out about the information, but you can't provide the evidence that proves your shit. Like, this is crazy. It really is. And I would really like to see some real evidence instead of just this, like, post one little thing about Twomad every day because, oh, I'm getting backlash and people are starting to question the things that I'm saying. Like, just stop it. Wait until you have all of the stuff put together, all compiled into one thing, and then put it out. It's not that hard. But anyways, with all that being said, I think that's where I'm going to be wrapping up the video. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys happen to enjoy the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so the video gets promoted more in the algorithm. Thank you so much for being a member to the channel. Your support really means the world to me, and I really do appreciate it. Now, with that all being said, my name is Breone, and I will see you in my next video. Peace.